So in this match, I'm playing against my friend. He's new to Vanguard, so don't mind him. But this deck was just basically we're both testing out our deck. Oh wow, I don't think he shuffled that one time. But yeah, he decides to use MOB as his first deck. Basically, because Majesty Lord Blaster looks amazing, which is very understandable. And MOB in this current format can still work if you get off his effect early, and for late game you can always switch into Sanctuary Guard to hit like a truck for the same power as Legion, pretty much just by using his limit break. Or you can double this up with Thing Savior Dragon, because MOB effect does put the 2 blaster into the soul, making it very easy to use Thing Savior effect. So basically the idea with that deck would be to hit hard with MOB early, pressure them early to guard, and then go ahead, get yourself to 4 damage or 3 damage if you have that new booster that where if it boosts a Blaster Blade Seeker, you can go ahead and counter put 1 card to the bottom of your deck, unflip a damage, and I think that's it. But it allows you to use the standing effect twice. So if you're able to get off MOB early, then pressure them with that standing twice, that should be a relatively smooth match going your way. And that was an idea I thought that was pretty interesting, including one of the original way to run Royal Paladin with the new Seekers, and focusing on the Blaster series, of course, and Thing Savior, because Thing Savior you can just throw that in anything, because it doesn't require Counter Blast to be Seeker or Soul Blast to be Seeker. So very good generic card they gave to Royal Paladin. On my end, I'm playing Dark Irregular, focusing on the new Legion with, I forgot the name, was it Hadar and Isaiah? I completely forgot. Anyways, it also uses Doreen and the Mate in order to create huge column on the side, while Echo of Nemesis is also another good Vanguard, allowing you to Soul Blast 1 grade 0 card, Soul Charge 2. Of course, Hadar, or whatever that new Legion unit is called, also has the same effect, so I don't have to worry too much. Also, Echo of Nemesis can act as Legion by himself at Limit Break as long as you have 10 or more in Soul. He gains 10,000 power, and he gains Glory Maelstrom effect. So he doesn't need to yeah, you can just stay with him the whole match and you'll be fine. But getting off Legion is also quite nice, just because you get to put back unit in, because sometimes you soul charge triggers, and with Echo of Nemesis and Hadar you can soul blast the grade 0 and soul charge more, so you're plussing, and then later when you use the Legion you can put those units back into the deck for a higher chance to hit triggers. And it's actually really nice. This deck run a combination of 6 stand, 2 crits, because the 2 crits come as a surprise to an opponent. Because if you run all stand, they get too comfortable guarding, no guarding at 4, because they don't think you run crit. But then the moment you pull crit on them, it's just so surprising to them. And that's why you run. That's why I run 2 crits. I run, I believe, 6 draw, 4 stand, 2 crit, and 4 heals. Yes. So Dark Irregular have a hard time building up hand early. So I figured the draw triggers will come as help. In stand trigger, regardless of where you get them mid game, you can work them off with Emblem Master. Later game, you can work them up with some gigantic like columns. So right here, you see he forgot to use the Wingles effect. If he had, wouldn't make too much of a difference. He would still need to grab Blaster Dark most of the time, because you saw he already ride 1, he damage check 1, and I believe they can run anywhere from 3 to 4 Blaster Dark, so it's wiser to get that, seeing as how he hasn't hit any Blaster Blade and he's more prone to draw into that. And the starter, I run Fate Collector again. If it boosts, and you have a Dark Irregular Vanguard with 6 or more souls, you can just put it into the soul. The attack doesn't even have to hit, and it doesn't even have to boost the Vanguard if it boosts a Dark Irregular. So you can just slap it anywhere, and again, help you soul charge, help you maintain card advantage, which is very important in Dark Irregulars early on. I find out through testing that your hand size is not as great as you want it to be early and mid game. So even if you can throw off power columns late game, you can do it once, and then your opponent has a higher chance of killing you off if they survive. So that's always a problem with Dark Irregular. But thanks to the 6 draw and Fate Collector, you can maintain a respectable amount of hand, I say, for the early game. And then late game, it's just bashing them with high number. They'll have low hand, and it's just up to what you draw into. Which, if you've been soul blasting your triggers, and when you use Legion, you should be able to drive check into more triggers, meaning your shield value later on is high. Of course, with your field, your opponent will always be, if you're playing Narukami or Kagura, they'll always be sniping off the Doreen, sniping off your important unit. So another thing with this deck is to keep off your unit in your hand if you don't need it. And as you saw right there, he drive check Blaster Blade, I believe. So yeah, right here, there's the unfortunate situation sometimes that you do get a stand when you really need a crit, but again, you can't complain because you run more stand, so you should be expected to hit more stand. That was a misplay on my part. Should have attacked with Emblem Master first. Of course, if people know what Dark Irregular does, they'll try to guard off the Emblem Master, and that's why the stand is so much more pressurizing, because they feel the need to guard, but at the same time they know they're wasting more shield value than necessary. Of course, with Legion, they'll be able to get back the card they guard with anyway, but it's still cards out of their hand that they need to replenish later on. So that's another strategy. I mean, I don't have too much left to say in this video, so hope you guys enjoy the rest of the match. Again, if you see some misplay on either side, you know, sorry about that. We're not the best Vanguard players in the world. We're getting used to our deck, and if we keep at it, you know, then it's bound to improve, right? We all start somewhere. So yeah, and hopefully he's not mad about me using a replay I had with him. It's not like I'm trying to show like a dominance of like, oh, so it's not that. It's actually, look, I'm trying to show off the power of a Dark Irregular deck. Whenever I do a video, is never to show it. Like, I don't really care too much who wins, who lose, as long as a powerful feature of the clan is shown. Like you saw in like my past video where I just completely got destroyed by that Spike Brothers deck. Yeah, Spike Brother Legion. And then the following match where I showed off Cormac's power, getting the pressurizing crit, Big Bang Knuckle Buster. You know, all these big units that where the combo can fully go off and make a deck really shine. I think that's the appealing part of Vanguard. Like, it's not always getting the win, it's sometimes pulling off those satisfying combo. And yeah, so here I'm still trying to get into my Legion. It's really funny. I run a standard 8 grade 3 ratio, yet I have not drawn into a single Legion unit that I can use. However, I'm keeping up the pressure relatively well, and because you did see earlier that he didn't search out Blaster Dark, Majesty is there stuck, and as you see right here, I finally drive check into my Legion. Is his name Hadar? Yes! I haven't been messing up the entire time. So he's at 5 damage. Gonna go. He drawn to another critical. I think he's been drawing into a lot of his critical, not necessarily drive checking much. And again, man, not he has 1 grade 3 in hand. There's not too many booster. At this point, I believe he should have. I let him ride the Sanctuary Guard because it makes more sense. Now he's able to hit hard and like a truck. But overall, yeah, it was really sad he didn't get to use much of MOB this match. However, Sanctuary Guard is still powerful by itself. Over there, he should not have gotten the power boost because his Vanguard is not a blaster. But it didn't matter anyway. It's still a 10k guard. That's why I didn't call him out on it. There's no need to. Didn't affect my guarding value. So now Sanctuary Guard effect activate. What he should have done was try to thin out his deck even more using Sanctuary Guard. If he was gonna call another unit like the K to boost, he should have just ditched K, grab another grade 1 and call it. Thin out his deck and more likely to hit the triggers. Either way, Sanctuary comes in swinging like a gigantic boss that he is. So he should not be at 30. He should gain 12k. So that make him 23, and then Margot is 4, so that should be 27. Right? Yes, 27. No, wait, he only gains 9 because he only has 3. Oh my god, my math skill is so good. Anyways, here I decide to completely explode on this turn. And the nice thing is Hadar's skill is act, so you can place that Doreen down first before exploding. Here I could have got a little more greedy and slapped it and put both my Shirley and my critical into the soul. because I knew he was at 5 damage. He has to guard everything, and that would make the Doreen column just absolutely gigantic. But I decided to hold them off. He had a pretty good hand size. If he perfect guard and then quintet and then able to block my last attack, next turn I'd be certainly doomed, because Sanctuary would be swinging in for just such a big number that I would not have enough to guard. I mean, with this hand size, I don't have enough to guard regardless, but I can bank on the fact that if I can take out enough of his hand and maybe even intercept, then maybe he won't have enough to fill his column. And I'm always very nervous about going all in. I mean, I could have done just like some ridiculous fancy play, but you know, I had Dimensional Creeper and Soul, so I could pull off a moderately fancy play. So right here I swing with a 23 column, forcing him to guard with 15 just for that rear guard. But now he's at 5. I mean, he also has to block my Vanguard. So right here I'm teaching him how to return his power to normal. Just enter 0 and 15, so successful guard. And here he has to throw down a perfect guard and bank on the fact that I don't pull any triggers. But this is where the stand comes in. Had I gotten a crit, he would have been able to block the last column using everything in his hand. Baited, I may have been able to survive in the next turn. It made it so much more pressurizing to be able to go in with that last column and completely take out his intercept and his hand. So just amazingly powerful. But the match doesn't end there because he got a heal. I don't know why he took that 6 damage, but anyway, he survived. So surprise, sort of. What he should have done right here was, I think, just go in. Does he put the Margot up in front? Because I think he should have. Had he gotten a trigger, yes, he wasted that last column, because had he gotten a trigger, he could put on that Margot and maybe try to do some more damage. So here's 16 coming in. I really didn't need to guard. I could have just hold off and guard this last attack. And now he's asking if he can use the limit break, and yes, Sanctuary Daigul power hits like a tank. But I will guard with everything as a no pass. I know MLB doesn't run stand often, so this just seems like the perfect time to use up all my hand. And at that point, he would have pulled a crit, so if I had to do one pass, that would have been bad. But unfortunately for him, that second check wasn't another heal or another trigger. So now, time to activate Hadar's skill one more time. Soul Charge 2, powering up Doreen. Such a nice combo. And because I have 6 in soul, 10 in Soul, my front row actually has a total of 500 more power. So yeah, I forgot to use that skill. So, I mean, he didn't have enough to guard this entire attack, so it was all good. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoy like the moderate Dark Irregulars combo. Like had I pulled off the full combo, like powering them up in the last turn I had, then Sanctuary would have been able to crit me for game. So that was a better play on my part. And yeah, anyway, see you guys in the next video.